Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving straight into a massive, budget-busting component of any build. We're summarizing Topic 3 to help you identify the type and cost of physical resources. We're taking the CPCCB4004 Learner Guide and turning it into a highly practical blueprint for your next site. By the end of this, you're going to have a foolproof methodology for pricing all that heavy lifting. Let's get into it. Here is our roadmap for today. We've got 1. Defining physical resources. 2. Exploring construction plans. 3. Limitations and conditions. 4. Tracking operational costs. And finally, 5. Itemizing the final cost. Let's jump right in. Section 1. Defining physical resources. The backbone of construction. To kick things off, let's establish exactly what we actually mean when we talk about the physical assets on a job site. Think about it for a second. What actually drives a project forward once all your bricks, steel, and timber are just sitting right there in the dirt? It's a really crucial question for any estimator. I mean, materials alone don't build buildings, right? You need the exact right tools to literally do the heavy lifting, the moving, and the assembling. And that brings us to our definition. Physical resources basically form the holy trinity of construction. You've got plants, which is your heavy machinery, equipment, meaning your single-purpose tools, and machinery, which refers to all the other mechanized gear. The absolute key distinction to remember here is that while you buy materials, you usually hire physical resources. And unlike a static pile of bricks, renting a massive crane comes with heavy regulations and ticking hourly clocks. All right, moving on to Section 2, Exploring Construction Plants, a Visual Guide. Let's head out into the field and see what these plants actually look like, and more importantly, what they do. Meet your standard multi-purpose excavator. This isn't just some basic digger, it's the absolute workhorse for small to medium-sized operations. While the front bucket handles the main excavation, its true superpower is the rear back-actor bucket, operating in a 180-degree arc. When you're pricing out soil preparation, this is usually the exact machine you're looking at. Now, once the excavator digs up the dirt, well, something has to move it. Enter the track-mounted bulldozer. This is the pure earth-moving muscle you need for stripping sites, reducing levels, or just pushing soil all across the plot. And keep those tracks in mind, actually. They become incredibly important when we talk about ground conditions a bit later. You know, it's really easy to forget about forklifts, because we usually just associate them with indoor warehouses. But you've got to think outside the box. They are absolutely critical lifting equipment on a construction site. For palletized materials, forklifts are your go-to for horizontal and vertical transport. They can easily move goods into structures up to 3 stories high. We've also got specialized power and lifting to consider. Mobile cranes offer incredible flexibility, giving you lifting capacities ranging anywhere from 5 to 30 tons depending on their mount. Paired with that, you'll often see these highly mobile air compressors. Compressed air provides a brilliantly clean power source for running breakers or drills, which, let me tell you, is an absolute lifesaver in confined spaces where exhaust fumes would literally be deadly. Okay, Section 3, Limitations and Conditions, the rules of the site. As any seasoned estimator knows, securing the right gear is only half the battle. Now we need to navigate the strict rules governing their use. Because safety and compliance are front and center on any legitimate build. You can't just rent a 30-ton machine and toss the keys to just anyone. Operators have to navigate strict legal and operational hurdles. And trust me, those hurdles will directly impact your budget. So let's compare these 2 critical factors that you absolutely must assess before hiring. First up, we have limitations. These are your physical constraints, like what is the machine's towing capacity, how mobile is it, what is its power output. Then, on the flip side, we have conditions. These are the strict operational and legal requirements that dictate who is actually allowed to operate it. Things like minimum operator age or having specific work licenses. Let's break those conditions down just a bit further, because getting this wrong is a very costly mistake. Generally speaking, operators must be over 18 years of age. But more importantly, for hoists, forklifts, or cranes, your operator legally requires a high-risk work license. Even for lower-risk plants like bulldozers or excavators, an organization might still require a statement of attainment. All of this, the whole shebang, is governed by Safe Work Australia's Model WHS regulations. Now, why does this matter to you as an estimator? Well, because needing a highly licensed crane operator is going to drastically inflate your daily labor rates compared to standard general labor. Moving right along to Section 4, Tracking Operational Costs, John's case study. Let's take all of this theory and apply it to a real-world practical scenario. We're going to follow an estimator named John, who is currently pricing out a project called Building ABC. Let's see how this actually builds our budget. For building ABC, John reviews the site plans and realizes the ground conditions are poor. We're talking muddy, soft, unstable terrain. Because physical site features always dictate the method of construction, John knows standard wheeled machinery would just sink right into the mud. He must specifically select track-mounted bulldozers. This single-site observation immediately alters his entire pricing structure. To track his operational costs accurately for these tracked machines, John follows a really logical, structured sequence. Step 1. Identify the machine's physical limitations and capacity. Step 2. Call the suppliers to gather the daily hire prices and, this is absolutely crucial, the transport costs to actually get it to the site. And Step 3. Estimate the daily operations. This means calculating the fuel burn, the maintenance overhead, and those licensed operator wages we just talked about. He does all this to make absolutely sure no hidden fees slip through the cracks. And that brings us to Section 5, itemizing the final cost, the bottom line. This is arguably the most important part of an estimator's job, pulling all this gathered data together into a formal, itemized budget. Let's break down John's actual figures for just one track-mounted bulldozer over a 30-day time frame. The supplier quoted a higher price of $133.90 a day. Now, a novice might just multiply that by 30 and call it a day, right? But John factors in $42.60 daily for fuel, $84.20 for the operator's wage, $18 just for maintenance, and a $350 flat fee for transport. So, as you can see, the daily hire price is truly just one small piece of a much larger operational pie. When you multiply those daily operational costs by 30 days and add in that flat transport fee, John's true cost to have that one bulldozer fully operational on site comes to exactly $8,711. If he had only priced the base hire rate, he would be under budget by over $4,000. That is a massive mistake that eats directly into the project's profit margins. No way you want that happening on your watch. So as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a challenge. Beyond the sticker price of the rental, are you accounting for every hidden operational condition and cost in your next project? Challenge yourself to think exactly like John. Evaluate the site, understand the licenses, track the fuel, and dig deeper into the true cost of every single physical resource. Thanks for joining me as we summarize Topic 3, identify the type and cost of physical resources, and master the art of building smart. See you next time.